Konnichiwa, guys, and welcome back to part 2 of this episode.
Emmett?
Ohio.
We learned this in the last episode. You're supposed to say Ohio in the morning, Konnichiwa in the afternoon. Or
Exactly.
anytime. I don't know.
My bad, guys.
All right, so this episode might be a little shorter, so we might have some time to learn about Japanese at the end. So we're just going to finish up our Japanese episode from earlier.
So let's get into the early life of Japan. In Japan.
In Japan.
So how was it?
The early life. So the early life was mostly just farming society. I feel like that's with most early societies.
Yeah.
And they actually took advantage of the limited amount of farmland that they had. But they had abundant rainfall, so they grew wet rice. Trade in Japan was slow to develop. Barter was used until the 12th century.
So barter was the way they would like trade. It was like a currency.
Yeah.
Instead of actually using like currency like coins or bills, they'd use goods to trade with other goods.
So I give you a sack of rice for a chicken or something.
What about manufacturing?
Well, it began to develop during the Kamakura period.
Yeah.
Markets appeared in the large towns, and industries such as the marketing of paper, porcelain emerged. So the trade grew between the different regions in Japan, and also goods were carried into China which began during the 11th century. So Japan shipped many raw materials and paintings and swords and other items in return for silk, porcelain, books, and copper coins.
So that's just whenever they started to actually like grow what they could trade with other countries.
And then they changed to a currency system because they would actually use the coins from China.
So Ada, Minnie, can you tell us about the role of women in early Japan?
Okay. So in early Japan, there's this. Okay. So we know that women had a certain level of equality with men. And because in an 8th century law code, for example, guaranteed that the inheritance rights of women it was guaranteed. Okay. And in addition, wives who were abandoned could divorce and remarry, so they had their choices and they had their rights to do that. And in later practices, however, it was shown that women. See, this is hard because they may have had a certain level of equality with men because of their rights and stuff, but they were still considered to be subordinate to men. Yeah, and so a husband could divorce his wife if she did not produce a son or if she committed adultery, which I don't know why they would just divorce the wife if they just can't produce a son. I feel like that's kind of dumb. Like, I know they want an heir, but yeah.
So that one doesn't make sense, but
Yeah, or not just that. Like, if she talked too much or she was jealous or had serious illness, he could divorce his wife, which does not make sense to me, but okay.
Yeah, the serious illness part is just, it doesn't sound right.
It's like, yeah, it's like your wife is sick and you're like, oh, she's useless now, or like, I don't want to pay for her
like
medical.
the vows now are like do better or do worse, But
Yeah.
there it was just like, oh, you're sick.
You're talking a bit too much as well, and you're too jealous. I'm like done with you.
I think they had like a type that like women had to be like quiet and like
Talk
stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're kind of sick. I kind of want to divorce you.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, so although women did not possess the full legal and social rights of men, they also played an active role at various levels of society. Aristocratic women were prominent at court, and some became known for their artistic or literary talents. And women often appear in the paintings of the period along with men. And the women are doing spring planting, threshing, and hulling rice, and acting as salesperson and entertainers as well.
So hardworking women in these paintings.
Yep.
I mean, they wouldn't paint the lazy ones, probably.
Or like the ones that talked a bit too much.
Yeah. Those are the ones they
The
divorced.
sick ones.
The sick. Yeah, they divorced those ones. They don't paint them. Get rid of them.
Okay.
All right, now we can go into religion and culture section of this. We'll talk about their how they worshipped spirits,
So like
stuff.
they were animists and they believed in spirits, and so they worshiped spirits called kami, and they believed that resided in rivers and trees and mountains, and that the spirits were ancestors and were in the natural formations such as rocks.
So it's like their ancestors and their like spirits in nature. So they just combined a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
So, and that evolved into a religion called Shinto, or like the sacred way, the way of the gods.
I'm actually gonna sneak in a little bit of a fun fact about their worship spirits called kami. Japanese, it's like, Minnie, help me. You know what I'm thinking, right? It's like the word kami is like God.
Kami,
is
yeah,
God.
actually translates to God.
But it can also, if in Japanese there's kanji, and so the different kanjis, it's like a letter, but
there's also
kind of
this
like
in
from
English. I can't
Chinese.
think of the word.
Yeah, what's in English?
Like sometimes the words sound the same, but they have different
Yeah,
meaning.
what is that called again?
Oh,
I don't know.
homonym.
Anna know?
Homonym.
Some
Is it homonym?
anyway.
So it could like be okay. So kami is God, and it's also hair, and it's also paper. Wait,
Yep.
yeah. So which is interesting.
It means paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also
Paper.
but they write it in like a different character.
Yeah. Okay.
The kami kami.
Kami. Okay.
The paper.
Moving on.
So like, and Shinto is still practiced today, but over time, it's like Shinto became the state doctrine linked with belief in the divinity of the emperor and sacredness of the Japanese nation.
So the emperor was also like divine.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens too much.
Yeah, like with the Romans.
Like with like just all the like more ancient societies, they just think their emperors are like these divine, like godly people.
Yeah.
Shinto, however, did not satisfy the spiritual needs of all Japanese people. Some turned to Buddhism, which Buddhist monks came from China and
It was brought.
it was brought to Japan in 8500s. So around then, some monks from China came and spread Buddhism to Japan. Do you have anything
And like,
to say?
no, sorry. I was just gonna go on and among the like aristocrats in Japan, one sect like known as Zen became the most popular because the Zen believes that about like self-discipline, and that kind of became part of the samurai warriors code,
Yeah,
right?
the like chivalry thing. The two main schools of Zen teach that nirvana either comes by instantaneous enlightenment or through a long process of meditation. So that's like their heaven thing, right?
Okay.
And that either comes just like, that's kind of confusing. It's just instant, or they have to do long meditation.
I think this is like pretty. Yeah, it's like a section of like Buddhism, right?
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so wait, what is nirvana again?
I think it's like their heaven thing,
It's the
like the afterlife where they go.
Like the highest level of like, because in Buddhism there's like multiple levels of heavens. Does that make sense?
And so, and Buddhism, like they believe in like rebirth. And so the instantaneous enlightenment or like a long process of meditation is basically being about how they need to like somehow be enlightened. Otherwise they just keep getting like reborn. That's like basically what they're saying. So they can only like reach nirvana through the reached enlightenment.
Okay.
Yeah.
During much of the history in early Japan, aristocrat men believed that prose fiction was merely vulgar gossip. What's that? Prose fiction.
Someone help us. What is prose fiction?
In or Sam?
Sam, look that up for us, please.
So it's a type of writing that tells a fictional story in nature, like a conversation style without a metric pattern.
So they believe that it was vulgar gossip and like it was beneath them.
Yep.
Why?
So it was like the spiritual stories, or what was it?
It's just stories of nature. It was
A written language in its ordinary form. So the aristocrats and stuff, they believed in more just writing in like poetry. And
So, like, oh yeah,
haikus or things like that.
so they like to write in poetry, but then when they didn't want to write in the prose fiction because they thought it just wasn't. It was beneath them. It wasn't their awesome poetry.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, that kind of is valid. Oh, however, even though like the aristocratic, okay, so the men are saying that it's vulgar gossip, but the women from like the 9th to the 12th centuries were actually the most productive writers of prose fiction in Japan. So that's like a contrast between men and women.
And like the world's first great novels of prose fiction was called The Tale of Genji, and it was written by an author in the emperor's court named Murasaki Shikibu.
Yeah.
And her novel was following the life of a fictional nobleman called Genji, one of the emperors. And as he moved from youthful adventures to a life of compassion in his later years. And it just was writing about his journey. And it has spiritual and aristocratic themes, which people in Japan like to read. Or people of that time enjoy reading that type of literature.
There's actually another author, which was a girl, an aristocratic woman named Sei Shonggong.
Minio?
Shonagon?
Shangagon.
Shonagon.
I'm not sure.
Sei Shonggong. She also wrote a pillow book, which told her activities as a court lady. So basically, just women started to become like these women would become more famous for their writing because they weren't just writing like poems and stuff like that. They were writing actual just stories.
But the men thought it was gossip.
Bad.
So you wanna look deeper into one of the books, like The Tale of Genji, or do you just wanna move on to teaching some Japanese?
We can move on a bit into the Tale of Genji.
Yeah, sure.
So the Tale of Genji was a super loved Japanese book made in the 11th century by that girl. That's a hard name.
Is it a girl or a
to
guy?
pronounce.
The Murasaki.
Murasaki Shikibu. It was a girl. And it's about
Oh
that.
yes, okay.
And it was like considered one of the best Japanese literatures and the oldest and fullest novel written back then.
Oh, but because it was written in Japanese, it wasn't taken very seriously. Because like most of the fancy scholarly books were written in Chinese, so Japanese was looked down on.
So probably like the poetry that men wrote were all in Chinese too. So then when it was in Japanese, they didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
So like it was made of like over 800 poems called waka poems.
So it was made of poems.
Yeah, it was a lot of poems inside one book.
Okay.
Yeah, and the story tells us a lot about early Heian period Japanese culture and like the lives of the aristocracy through its themes of love and power.
Okay.
That's pretty cool, I guess. I mean,
Has anyone here read that? I don't think so. Mr. Jaden, have you read it?
100 poems? That would be impressive.
You've read a summary of it?
But like 800 poems all in Japanese.
That'd be crazy if you did read it. I'm sure they have a translation.
The crossover. Oh.
Like that one book, yeah.
Oh, so we read this one book and wait, when was that? In like seventh or
Sam, you were there, right, Sam? For yeah, it was
crossover. It's like this book and it's just made up of poems, but it makes sense.
It's an all
It's his love life. I think he falls in love with his mom.
So he falls in love with his mom.
Whoa.
Jada, come up to the mic. Okay.
Wait, so the Tale of Genji is how he falls in love with his mom, the what?
Oh, one of them.
Wow, is this lovers? That's kind of
So it's just his love life.
So interesting love life and relationship.
All right, is there anything else you guys want to share for this last episode of Japanese stuff?
Well, I feel like that was a bit short, so we can teach you some Japanese. Yeah.
Okay.
So, what should we teach them, Minnie?
Should we teach them how to introduce themselves?
Like their names?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay. Wait, can you introduce yourself in Japanese first?
Sure. Like, do I just say
Just say your name. Just say your name. You don't have to make it long.
watashi no namae wa Mini desu?
And so, break it down for us. What did you just say?
Okay, so watashi means I,
Watashi.
and no is
Watashi
like
was.
my name. It's
Yeah.
yeah. So watashi no and then namae means name. Wa is
Like-
is and then your name and then des is like it's like equivalent to like ka and crab in Thai.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But then watashi is more of like a female, like feminine kind of
Oh.
yeah.
way of saying it.
Like in the textbooks they teach you to say watashi, but like in real life situations guys don't really say watashi.
What did they say?
they say boku.
Yeah.
So instead of watashi no namae wa dot dot dot, you say boku no namae wa your name desu.
Boko no nami nama. Ezra.
Okay, let's go slow. Okay, let's go slow. So boku no
Boku no
namae wa
namae wa
Namae wa.
your name.
Emeto.
Yeah.
Ezra.
Desu.
Why do you add an O at
She told me to earlier.
Ezrael?
No, yeah, I feel like because the Japanese like alphabet isn't the same as the English, so they can't just end it like emet. It's like
Yeah.
emeto,
Yeah.
right?
So
And Ezra is not just Ezra. It's
Ezra.
like Ezra, right? Yeah, it'll be like let me.
Say, that's just their accent. They just have Asian accent.
Yeah, it would
It'll
be
be like Ezra.
Ezra.
Okay, so let's try again. Can you?
Ezra.
so what's the
It's similar.
Ezra.
Boku no name wa Emeto desu?
Yeah. Yeah. Ezra, your turn. That's all.
You're gonna slide this. This is horrible.
You got this.
Boku no name wa Ezra desu.
Awesome job.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Alright, now we know Japanese. We can.
No, we
Boku no
we can say my name is. You can just say
name wa.
Bro, you go to Japan, you're like, my name is Ezra, and walk away.
Yeah, I'm just.
what would
I'm just
be a
gonna go
word
around.
that they
I'm just gonna
could
say that.
actually apply?
Boku
Where's
no-
the toilet?
Where is the toilet?
My name is Ezra. Where's the toilet?
Oh, sumimasen is also really helpful.
Oh yeah.
I think
So in Japanese, sumimasen is like it's like sorry, but then it's also like excuse me, and it's also like thank you.
Sumimasen.
In some contexts,
Yeah.
it depends on the context,
Sumimasen.
but it's a really useful word.
Like when
go
you're
to
in the restaurant, if you're wanting to like catch the waitress's attention, you're like sumimasen, right?
Hmm?
And then if you like bump into someone, you're also like
Sumi, my son. My name is Ezra. I need to the bathroom.
oh yeah, that actually works. It's like
No, but you don't need to tell your name when you're asking for the bathroom.
yeah, but it's also like sorry to like bother you, but like you know.
Yeah, just say sumimasen and then like ask them where the toilet is. Don't you don't have to say your name.
Sumi no sen. Boku no name wa.
The
There's-
word
Okay, do you wanna-
toilet
That's what this.
is like the word toilet or
There's
bathroom is
there's two words for bathroom or toilet in Japanese. But I think the easiest would just be
Toilet.
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 Toilet. No, it's just toilet. It's just toilet.
Toilet.
My bad, guys.
This is a toilet.
Yeah, it's just toilet.
And then
Toilet.
Otearai.
Toilet.
Otearai.
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 Toilet. Otarai.
Normal ways.
Otearai.
Yeah.
But you can just say
Arai.
otearai.
Otearai.
And then to say where
Arai.
is doko. Oh shoot.
Ote arai.
Doko.
No, it's doko with the K.
Doko.
Tore doko. Can I just say that?
Doko
Okay,
toreatai.
you could. If you says like toire doko, I think they will like understand. Like, but the
Bathroom where?
Doko tore.
but then the full thing is
That's
Toilet was. Okay, you're adding the sumimasen.
Sumimasen. Tore wa
Why
doko.
does your grandpa know that?
sumimasen, toire wa doko desu ka?
Yeah.
Sumimasen. Toro wa doko desu ka?
Yeah, and then they'll be like full Japanese directions, and you'll be like, what? Sumimasen, eigo kudasai. So that's when you say, sumimasen,
Me no speak Japanese.
Yeah.
You can't remember. You
Or
can
like
just.
Nihongo wakarimasen.
How do you say I don't speak Japanese in Japanese?
I don't speak. I think I don't speak Japanese is a bit like complex. Like it's not
Just say
complex,
like
but
you don't
just, like,
understand it.
Understand.
Which would yeah.
So Nihongo.
How do you just say no? I'm just gonna say
Nihongo.
no.
I think they'll be able to tell you. Nihong is Japan and go is like the
Language.
language. So Nihongo,
Nihongo.
like Japanese people is Nihongjin, and so the language is Nihongo. And so Nihongo wa karimasen.
Nihongo.
Wakarimasen is like I don't know or like I don't.
Nihongo wakarimasen.
Sumimasen, Nihongo
Wakanda
wakarimasen.
forever.
What?
Have you seen people say Nihongo dekinai?
Oh yeah.
It's like you cannot do Japanese.
So either that or
God.
Nihongo dekinai. De-
Dekinai.
Dekinai, dekimasu is like the
Nihongo dekinai.
do it,
Being
like,
able
being
to
able
do
to do
it.
something, and then when you add nai, it's like you can't. So it's like Nihongo dekinai.
Nihongo dekinai.
No,
Which one is easier to
no able.
remember?
Nihongo dekinai.
Yeah.
Nihongo
I
dekinai.
think that's easier.
Nihongo
Nihongo dekinai.
ga
You should get us at us.
boku
Dekimasu.
ame wa
Oh yeah, true.
sara.
This dekinai is kind of informal, so it's actually Nihongo deki. Oh shoot, dekimasen.
Yeah.
Dekimasen. Dekimasen.
Yeah.
All the Japanese
So-
ancestors rolling around in their grave while listening to what?
Okay, so Ezra, if you needed to go to the bathroom, what would you be saying?
I would say Toro. Tore. Samimasen tore wa doku desu ka.
And Matt, help him out. What would you say?
Sumimasen toro
Toire.
tore wa doku desu ka.
Tore.
Doko. Okay.
Doko.
You know, even though
Doko,
there's
I would
a
probably not
gender-
remember all of that, so I'd probably
Doko
just say like
desu.
tore, and then they
They'll understand. What?
and then they'll probably point somewhere, and I'll just
Sumimasen tore wa doko desu ka.
Yes, Ahmed. Or if you can't remember, just remember toire and doko. Doko is where. So wherever you need to go, you just like
Yeah.
say the place and you're like
Doku tore, doku tore.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
that's pretty cool. I think that's it for our Japanese lesson. Now we can fluently speak Japanese. When we visit it, we'll
Be able to say,
Be able to-
where's the bathroom?
where's the bathroom and introduce ourselves, and that's it. Tore.
Tore tore.
All right, guys, if you like this video, please subscribe.
Comment down below just any suggestions.
Oh, and we're also doing reaction videos.
So yeah, go check those out.
Me and Sam and some other people are. So check those out and give suggestions of what we should react to next, if there's any ideas you have.
All right. Thank you for watching, listening.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.